Hey everyone, it's Marti from Down the Rabbit Hole Travel. It is less than 1 week away from the world's first, and hopefully only, COVID Halloween. Over the last few days, many people have contacted me, asking for me to help them design an at-home Halloween-themed escape game. If you can't go out trick-or-treating, at least you can stay home and have a spooky adventure there, so stay tuned. Okay, my lovely viewers, ask and you shall receive. You asked for a Halloween-themed escape game, so I've designed a short one just for you. This game can be made as sweet or as spooky as you like, depending on the age of your participants. I did not design an elaborate game. It's a little short and probably will last about half an hour on average. Please feel free to add more puzzles as needed if you're designing for older children, teenagers, or adults. And I also want to note that all of the supplies that I used to create my props and tools were purchased at the good old dollar store, just to show you how affordable doing something like this can be. So let's jump in.
The premise of this particular game is the vampire's tomb, and in the game, you and your team are trapped by a playful yet malicious vampire who wants to see you squirm. You have 1 hour before sundown and have to escape the tomb before her buddy Dracula wakes up and needs a little bite to eat.
I usually like to start my escape room games with a letter or a video, something that explains the premise of the game and kind of sets the mood and the atmosphere.
Snapchat filters are a great way to get into character. You just have to find the right filter.
So here's the video I made for the vampire's tomb.
Hello, tasty little humans. You might be wondering where you are. You are in none other than Dracula's tomb. I've hypnotized you and led you here, and I want to play a little game. It's 1 hour until sundown, and you know what that means. Old Drac will wake up, and he'll be hungry for breakfast. And that, my dearies, is you. You have 1 hour to escape, if you can. I'm a generous vampire, so I'll give you 3 clues if you get stuck, but no more. Not sure where to start? I suggest checking the skulls for your first key. Good luck! In the video, players get their first clue. Look for the game's first key in a skull. Skulls can be hidden all over the room, but just one will be hollow and has a key sticky tacked inside. This skull key opens a locked box. We know it's this box because the key and lock are both color-coded. This key is black as well as the mark on the lock. This helps so that your players don't force a key in an incorrect lock and then break the key. Also, if you don't own any lock boxes, watch this DIY escape room video of mine to see how I made my collection. Inside the box are shredded strips of paper and a rosary. The rosary is just a pretty red herring. It's the paper shreds you really need. The paper shreds are really a cipher key that have been cut into a puzzle. Upon assembly, they'll help solve the next riddle. I used Velcro dots on cardstock and the backs of the puzzle pieces to help players keep their cipher straight once assembled. This cipher key is crucial in translating the creepy tombstones found inside the vampire's tomb. They give a mathematical riddle that needs to be solved. My kids are into math, so this is right in their wheelhouse. Hidden loosely somewhere in the escape room should be a whiteboard and dry erase marker, so players have the ability to decipher these riddles. Using the cipher key as a Rosetta Stone, players will determine that the tombstone messages say, 3 vampires lie here. Each vampire bought 40 blood shakes, then returned 13. How many blood shakes are there? That last message isn't coded. Using the tombstone riddles, players will have to calculate the answer. This gives them a 3-digit combo code for a 3-digit lock. The answer, by the way, is 107. This lock is keeping a clear, plastic, homemade lockbox shut tight. Seriously, folks, you can make lockboxes out of almost anything. Inside this box is a blacklight flashlight and a set of numbered candles of different heights. Players will probably try the flashlight all over the room at this point, but it's basically useless as of now. They'll have to hang on to it for a bit. The candles I melted down on purpose to different heights, then measured those heights on this foam board shelf I constructed. Players need to line up the candles so they match the lines on the foam shelf. The Roman numerals on the shelf itself indicate which numbers attached to the candles go in what order. This reveals a combination to a 4-digit lock code, which is 8624. This 4-digit code opens a file folder that contains a Ouija board planchette and a piece of paper that has a bloody handprint. These file folders are great for holding larger clues that won't bend or fold. Just use a hole punch to pop a hole where their zipper tie maxes out. Works awesome. The planchette is useless without the actual Ouija board, so players can move on to the handprint. This is where the blacklight flashlight comes into play. An unseen message on the paper says, "Search in the bloody pots, 7254." This code opens a bin which has pots of vampire favorite snacks. You can use Jell-O, ketchup, water and tapioca, anything really. I used ketchup. Hide a key in one, and don't forget to provide players with towels or cloths to wipe up with after. This key opens one last large bin. Inside the bin is the Ouija board. Finally! This board will give us the final clue to escape this vampire nightmare. I'll show you how to make this Ouija board and other props at the end of the video, so remember to watch all the way through. The planchette we found before has a magnet attached to the end. This attracts to specific locations on the Ouija board. The letters that this Ouija board focuses on are Y, L, S, and A. But what do we do with those? In the collection of tombstones, there is one that says, "What happens at the end? It's a puzzle. Here lies anagram." This is a clue. Our Ouija board letters, the puzzle at the end, is an anagram. A, L, S, and Y make the word slay, which is what we should probably do to the vampire, but instead, we'll just get the heck out of there. And you're done. Have fun setting the stakes high. Haha, see what I did there? With a timer, spooky lights, and music, even a fog machine if you have one. Now, feel free to stick around to the end of the video to see how I built all of these cool props and tools. For the spooky cipher, I started on a pages doc and made a table with 4 columns. I added the alphabet in a spooky font. Then I searched up Halloween silhouettes with transparent backgrounds and added them individually into my columns. And then in the document that I prepared here, I'm just going to paste it. And I'm going to spell out 3 vampires lie here using all of these lovely little symbols. Copy the H and paste it. So now I've encoded 2 of my tombstone messages, which I will print off, then I will attach them to that big foam board over there, which I will turn into tombstones. But now I'm going to finish coding the last message. Okay, at this point, I think I'm just gonna freehand these tombstones on here. So there they are. They're not even or anything. And in my experience, the easiest way to cut out shapes with foam board is by using an X-Acto. And there's my first pair of tombstones. So then I've got my riddles here, my math riddle, which I did end up laminating just in case I need to use it again. And I will just glue them onto the tombstones. A pair of dollar store metallic markers finished off the look. So this is the cipher key that I created on the computer. I printed it off and I laminated it just in case I use it for another escape game sometime. So the players will find this in that first lock box and they will have to assemble it like so, etc., etc., etc. But on the back, just to make life easy, I'm going to put some Velcro dots. These babies right here, cheap, cheap, cheap at the dollar store. And I'm going to put them on the backs of these pieces and put the matching side onto a piece of cardstock. So this is how the puzzle looks when assembled. Here's the little Velcro dot there and one there. And so all players have to do is just place and give it a little wiggle. And they've deciphered they've put together their cipher key. To construct the shelf for the candle puzzle, I just used a piece of dollar store foam board, made sure my candles fit, then cut out 2 pieces and simply hot glued them together. Easy peasy. After the shelf was constructed, I both cut the candles with an X-Acto at the bottoms and burned them down from the tops to make them all different lengths. I then glued Velcro dots to the bases and numbers to the fronts. Then I used that silver metallic marker to mark their heights and added Roman numerals to the numbered candles that were part of the puzzle solution. It was a little labor intensive, but it looked great in the end. Okay, to make the Ouija board prop, I just found this picture on Google and I copied and pasted it into one of my Pages docs. I made it the size of the whole page. And now I'm just going to print it in full color. So that's what it looks like. I'll print it off. I am going to hot glue it to this artist canvas that I got from the dollar store for a couple of bucks. But first I'm gonna paint the background black just so it looks more Ouija-ish. Now I'm going to use this extra little scrap piece of foam board to cut out the planchette that is supposed to go with the Ouija board. It looks like a little upside down heart, so I'm just going to draw one here in the corner and hope for the best. All right, the Ouija board is dry and I have laminated the paper part of it so that it's a little more durable. I'm just going to cut the edges and glue this together. All right, so now we've got this fancy looking little Ouija board prop. Now we need to pick out the letters that we want to use for our clue, and I've decided on S-L-A-Y, slay, as in slay a vampire. So what we need to do now is flip this over and figure out where those letters would be on the back side. I have this package of tiny little clear magnets, once again, from the good old dollar store. And we are going to glue these magnets to the underside of the Ouija board. And we'll put one at the very tip of our planchette. And I will show you how that's all gonna work out. And then to figure out the magnets, I'm gonna try and do this with one hand. I'm gonna stick one of these on top of the S. And then I'm going to take this other one and stick it this way because they're attracted to the back sides of each other. I'm going to stick it on the other side of the board
and then I'll know exactly where to put my dot of glue on the underside.
And that's my Vampires Tomb escape game. I hope this video can help you plan a fun Halloween event, or any other escape room event for that matter. Happy Halloween, all! If you enjoyed this video, please remember to click that thumbs up button to show your support, and feel free to share it out on your social media. If you leave a comment, I'll do my best to respond. And if you're new to my channel, definitely please click that red subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified whenever I publish a new video. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks for coming back to watch. I appreciate you so much being a part of my travel community.